Hello, welcome everyone. I'm Paige. Winter always pulls me inward. The cold sharpens the air, quiets the streets and makes the early hours feel almost sacred. Though I'm an Essex girl by birth, I grew accustomed to winter during my years living and studying in Scotland, where the mornings arrive slowly and the cold has a presence all its own. I hold a master's degree in English literature and creative writing from the University of Edinburgh, and it were there, wrapped in scarves and silence, that I found myself returning again and again to the work of Robert Burns. Burns, to me, is a poet who breathes with the seasons. His words rise like frost from the ground, clear, unadorned, and quietly luminous. There is a humility in his genius, a rare gift for honouring ordinary lives while touching something eternal. He writes as if language itself were warmed by human breath, turning work, love, hardship and hope into song. For Scotland, he is a keeper of the national voice. For readers and scholars, he is a reminder that greatness need not shout to endure. This poem feels especially apt in the winter months. Burns understood the discipline of cold mornings and the resolve it takes to rise early when the world is still hushed and thought feels more honest. As a student, I often read Burns before the day began, in those quiet hours when Edinburgh lay half asleep. The streets were still, the light pale and tentative, and his poetry felt like a steady hand on the shoulder, encouraging reflection before ambition, listening before striving. Winter mornings teach us patience, and Burns teaches us reverence. Flavour, feeling, for the small acts that shape a life. As Burns Night approaches, this reading is offered as a gesture of respect and gratitude, my own small contribution in honour of a poet whose words continue to gather people together across centuries. I'll be attending a Burns Night supper myself, sharing food, fellowship and more of his wonderful poetry, spoken aloud, as it were always meant to be. So, in the spirit of winter, early mornings and quiet resolve, I'd like to share a short poem now. The poem I'm about to read is called Up in the Morning Early.
Old blows the wind frae east to west, the drift is driving surly. Sae loud and shrills I heard a blast, I'm sure it's winter fairly. Up in the morning's no for me, up in the morning early, one of the hills are covered with snow, I'm sure it's winter fairly. The birds sit chittering in the thorn, a day fair, but sparely, and langs the neat frae e'en to morn, I'm sure it's winter fairly. Up in the morning's no for me, up in the morning early, one of the hills are covered with snow, I'm sure it's winter fairly.
I know I was only going to recite one poem, but while we are on the theme of winter, and in celebration of the Burns Night supper, I feel it's apt to add another great poem by Robert Burns. This one is entitled Winter, a Dirge.
The wintry west extends his blast, and hail and rain does blow. Or the stormy north sends driving forth the blinding sleet and snow. While crumbling brown the burn comes down, and rose frae bank to brae, and bird and beast in covert rest, and pants the heartless day. The sweeping blast the sky o'ercast, the joyless winter day. Let others fear, to me more dear than all the pride of May. The tempest howl, it soothes my soul, my griefs it seems to join. The leafless trees my fancy please, their fate resembles mine. Thou power supreme whose mighty scheme these woes of mine fulfil, here firm I rest, they must be best, because they are thy will. Then all I want, O do thou grant this one request of mine, since to enjoy thou dost deny. Assist me, to resign.
Thanks for listening. I'll simply say this. May your winter be warmed by good company, honest words, and a shared love of poetry. Wherever you are, and however you mark it, I wish you a very happy Burns night. May the spirit of Robert Burns live on in your songs, your stories, and your gatherings.